Hey, what's up, Slunts? Joker here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Alien Isolation, specifically on the PC. But before we go ahead and jump into that, later on in the video I'm going to be announcing the details for a contest to be giving away a free copy of Alien Isolation on the PC. So stay tuned towards the end of the video specifically for that. But as far as Alien Isolation goes, let's go ahead and jump right into it. First thing we're going to do, as always in my reviews for the PC, we're going to take a look at the graphics options and discuss how well it's running on the PC, if it's a good port specifically for a title like this, because it is a console port. Starting things off, we have an FOV slider, which is always nice to see in a first-person game like this. After that, we've got film grain, which, you know, I keep off, but, you know, some people might like it if you really want to have that feel of the original films. It adds to it, you know, for the whole atmospheric feeling if you want, you know, the film grain, stuff like that. But for me, I just like a really clear, crisp image because I'm just a major graphics one. I like stuff to look nice, so I turn stuff like that off. After that, we've got deep color. Honestly, don't know what that is. I did try looking it up. I couldn't find any information on it. After that, we've got your detail level, pretty self-explanatory. Your shadow resolution, which can be adjusted based on pixels. It only goes up to about 2K, so really not that high. Shadow mapping, particles, and finally motion blur, which I actually left on for this game because of the fact that it is like more of a cinematic type experience. So I thought it made sense in this particular setting, so I chose to leave that on. As far as optimization goes, the PC version is very, very well optimized. I'm happy to report. Not using a lot of video memory, you know, less than 2 gigs for sure, and not very taxing at all. I'm easily running this game at a solid 144 FPS. With VSync off, I'm seeing anywhere from 200 to 300 frames on two 780s, and with a single card, it's around 100 to 150 on Ultra. VSync off, all that jazz. So if you're out there with like a 2 gig card, maybe like a 680, 670, or even less, I'm sure you're going to be fine running this game at pretty much ultra settings on almost any modern graphics card. So definitely well optimized, and very happy to report that the people at Creative Assembly did a really bang-up job, even though in the past Sega titles have really not had the best optimization for the PC, in my opinion. Specifically thinking of games like Total War Rome 2, Company Heroes 2, which still to this day does not support SLI. I know Total War Rome 2 did add an SLI support, but it was like a year and a half later, you know, kind of way after the fact there, guys, to really be adding an SLI support that far after. And Company Heroes 2, no SLI, still to this date, because of some stupid fucking thing with the snow. I mentioned that back in my Company Heroes 2 review ages ago. If you want, you can go back and look at that. It was a pretty funny video. Angry Fat Guy, Company Heroes 2 review. But now let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay and the story. The events of the game is taking place 15 years after the events of the original Alien film, where Ellen Ripley, you know, spoiler, she blew the alien out into space and then she escaped in a pod and stuff like that. Oh no, I'm sorry. In the original Alien, she escaped in the pod and then the alien was still on the ship, and then she fucking murked that motherfucker, and she basically fell asleep on the ship for like 50-something odd years. And but this game is taking place in 2137. You're playing as Amanda Ripley, her daughter. And you're basically trying to investigate and find out more about what happened to your mother, because at this point, people still don't know what happened to her mother, Ellen. And you're going aboard the Sevastopol to look for the flight recorder of the Nostromo, so you can try to find out some more information about what happened there. And that's pretty much where the story takes off. And obviously, you know, you get there and things aren't too good. There's an alien running amok, as the title would suggest. There are a couple specific things I want to mention about this game that I really did like. The sound design is absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it had won some sort of like Sound of the Year award for, you know, at some type of game show or something like that. Lighting also very, very good. It helps cover up some of the textures, which can be kind of questionable. Also, the anti-aliasing, not that great. There's some lines that you kind of shimmer when you look around, so it's got some bad temporal aliasing. It could definitely do with some of NVIDIA's TXAA, that's for sure. I think that would solve a lot of those issues. And even putting it on like super sampling, or, you know, turning up the resolution, it's either way, it's still gonna have that same shimmery effect. And so far, I haven't found anything to fix it completely. I do have a Sweet Effects profile on, which does a little bit, but there's still some spots where it's really, really bad. I also have to say that I am very, very pleased with the level design. You know, it It really feels like you've just dropped into an Alien movie, but also the layout of it, feels intuitive, but not too linear. You definitely feel like you kind of got to look around and try to find where to go. Obviously it is a spaceship, so you're limited as to how far you can go. It's not an open world game by any means. But you have that feeling that you can basically go forward and you can go back if you have to. You can go back down the elevators or back through trams and things like that. So that kind of does remind me of like the original Dead Space game, or all the Dead Space games actually in that respect. Where you're progressing through the level and you might have to go back to do certain things, and the objectives do also remind me of Dead Space. Things like turning on the power and stuff like that. But it's not to the point where I would say it's a Dead Space ripoff by any means. Obviously they have things that you can compare, and you're gonna see similarities. They're both horror survival games. They're both set in outer space. But the combat is nothing like Dead Space. There's very, very little combat, if any at all. You can pretty much go through the game without really killing anyone. There are like AI robots that come after you and stuff like that, but you can sneak past most of them. The alien, obviously, you can sneak around him. So, ideally, if you're playing the right way, you shouldn't really be getting in combat all that much. And especially playing it on a hard, it is extremely difficult, and you do have to really be careful because the AI is pretty smart at times. You definitely can't really sneak up like right next to them without them seeing you. I mean, you could be behind them, but I've played like other games recently, Shadow of Mordor, where you can basically be right on the guy's side, like pretty much in his peripheral vision, but he still doesn't see you. He just completely ignores the fact that you're there. Not in this game. If you get really, really close to the AIs, they're going to sense that you're there, and they're going to turn around, and they will come after you very, very quick. You can avoid a lot of these guys, though, without actually having to get into combat. You can kind of run around them and run away and then hide, and they might go, and then they'll go back to their posts, or you can just run to an objective. There was one area of the game where I basically felt that was my best option, was to just run past the 2 or 3 AIs that were there and try to get to the elevator as fast as possible and close the door before they got to me. Because if they would have got in the elevator with me, I would have been absolutely fucked. They would have just killed me right in the elevator. They grab you, and then you could try to break them off with a little QTE, quick time event. But sometimes, it's too overwhelming, and and then more of them will come in and they'll circle you, and they just keep grabbing you over and over again until you're dead. I will also have to say the length of the game is pretty good, especially since the fact that it's a single-player only game. You're not looking at any multiplayer or anything like that. So it comes in at around 15 hours in length, and you've got, the Crew Expendable DLC and things like that. There's like a survival mode. But the Crew Expendable DLC I haven't played yet, but I'm looking forward to it. That's the one that was for the pre-order, and you get to play as the original cast. So I'm actually really looking forward to trying that out sometime in the near future. But coming in over 15 hours in length is a pretty respectable amount of time to put into a game. And $50 right now at release, but actually you can get it cheaper on G2A you can get it for about $25 on G2A. I'll put down a link in the description below, to G2A in case you haven't been there before. But $25, and that's that fluctuates the way their marketplace works. But for $25, that's a pretty decent price. If you need to play Alien Isolation. But also, remember, I'm going to have the contest going on, so you might want to wait until the end of the contest to see if maybe you won. I'm going to have to say a couple of negatives about the game, but not too many, really. It's really just nitpicking. Obviously, I mentioned before the anti-aliasing is a little bit bad. Another thing is that the cutscenes in the game kind of detract from the experience. I would have much preferred if everything just stayed in first person rather than cutting away to see the characters. I think that works in certain games. It just didn't feel like it did in this one. I would have much preferred to stay in first person, sort of like a Half-Life or like the Metro games, 2033 and Last Light. I think it works better for the genre as far as the horror game. It's a very, very atmospheric game that you're trying to, you trying to feel like you're in that moment, so that you have the fear and all that stuff, and it feels very real in you. But then they go ahead and have a CGI cutscene, and you can see your character and everything like that, and it just really does take you out of the moment, in my personal opinion. And also, another thing that I haven't experienced personally, but I've seen videos out there that there are some bugs with the alien. I saw one thing where a guy got sucked out into the space with the alien, and they were just floating around. Another one where the alien was stuck in a vent and couldn't get past a certain point. Again, I haven't experienced these, but it's just worth mentioning to you guys. I don't want to, leave that out. But overall, still a very, very good game. There's definitely a lot more pluses than there are minuses. This is without a doubt the best Alien game to come out ever. And I hope we see another one in the future. That would be absolutely fantastic, because they do stay true to the actual story of the Hollywood movies and stuff like that within the time period, and it all makes sense. So it's really nice to see that finally from the Alien franchise, one of my favorite movie series of all time, apart from that really crappy one with Winona Ryder. That one was kind of questionable, but still okay because it was an Alien movie. I know other people didn't really care for Prometheus, but I really liked Prometheus. So if you didn't like Prometheus, I don't get it. Maybe you can tell me down in the comments below what you didn't like about Prometheus if you didn't like it. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the review portion of the video. I'm going to go ahead and give Alien Isolation an amazing 9 out of 10. That's right, 9 out of 10. Very, very blown away with this game. It's a good console port. It runs well on PC. It's optimized. It supports SLI right out of the box on day one. That's big, big brownie points with me. It looks gorgeous. The sound is amazing. The alien is good. The stealth is fun. The horror is good, and it's scary as shit. I've had a lot of jump scares playing this game, and I'm sure there'll be many more to come, you know, in the Crew Expendable DLC and things like that. Just overall, fantastic game. I absolutely recommend that you go out and play it today, or wait until the end of the contest and see if you won. And let's go ahead now, jump into the contest details. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, we are going to be giving away a free copy of Alien Isolation, and this contest is being brought to you by you guys. That's right, you guys are the suppliers of this code, because I basically took the little bit of money that I did make last month. I got some studio lights, and I got this copy of Alien Isolation so I can give it to you guys and give back to the subscribers, because you guys deserve it. I wouldn't be here without you making these videos and making a little bit of extra money that I do, so I try to take any of that money that I do make and try to put it back into the content with getting things like, you know, like maybe a new camera, which I'm looking to get. Got these lights, and I've got the game to do for a giveaway, and hopefully in the future, if we do make a little bit more money, we can have these contests more and more frequently. I would like to do another one maybe a little bit towards the end of the year, maybe for like Dragon Age Inquisition or something like that. Definitely looking forward to that game. So, you know, look out in the future, especially, you know, with the big holiday rush of games coming out. Maybe we can do another giveaway in a couple months or so. But how to enter into the contest. First, of course, you got to be subscribed to the channel. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Also, I need you to go over to the Joker Productions Facebook page, which is at facebook.com/Joker Slunt. I'll also put a link down to that in the description, and of course you can link to it off of my channel page as well. And the final thing, just so I can see the names of everyone that's gone ahead and liked the page, I need you to go ahead. There's going to be a post for this Alien Isolation review on the Facebook page. Just go ahead and share that to your timeline on Facebook, and then I'll be able to collect all the names from the shares on that, and those will be the people entered into the contest, and we'll do a random drawing in about a week from now, and I'll announce the winner in a video, as well as message them on Facebook to confirm, and then, you know, I'll give you the I'll gift it to you on Steam so that you can go ahead and start playing Alien Isolation, hopefully pretty soon. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, stick a like on it below. If you're not subscribed already, don't forget to go ahead and do that. Also, you can always follow me on Facebook and Twitter at JokerSlunt, or simply get back to my channel anytime by going to JokerSlunt.com. I'll catch you guys next time. Ta fucking Rizza!